Alright guys, what's up? It's Wombat, and today, we're gonna be doing a review on not these four Beyblades, which didn't really get covered during the dual layer era. They were all released during it, but they are the plastic gen remakes. The S series, so the four of them are gonna be Dragoon S, Wing Extreme, Dranzer S, Spread Trans, Driger S Heavy Fusion, and one that I don't actually have, so I'll be using like Metal Ball Defensor instead. The actual Draciel is Draciel S Central Press. So, as you can tell, the only really new parts of these Beyblades are their layers. So that's all this episode's gonna focus on. So, almost forgot how to disassemble plastic for a second. So let's start with Dragoon first. And Dragoon is left spin, just in case you're wondering. It's actually probably the lightest layer, I think, in the entire Beyblade Burst game. It's, I want to say, only like 6.3, 6.4 grams. It's lighter than D2. If you weak launch it, it's got some okay burst attack, but it really isn't enough to stand up to things like Wyvern or D2, or even like dual layer defense types, or some dual layer stamina types. Like, I don't think you could burst Neptune either. And either way, it's not anything that L2 can't do better, because L2 is also better at outspinning things due to being heavier, and it bursts less. Yeah, Dragoon S Heavy Extreme. I guess you could try it on hold or destroy if you want, but L2 and NL are so much better. DF is better at spin stealing. L2 and NL are better at attack. Probably even like Arc Bahamut is better than this. Dranzer S is it's got, I think, the same teeth as Nova Neptune, but unfortunately it's got like a pretty raw shape that when it just hits these, takes so much rotational recoil that it'll burst no matter what. Like, I remember there was the You Burst You Win battle that Leo bursted with Sir Scooty, and it was Nipstrous Ovalquake versus Dranzer S 7 Meteor Bite, and then Dranzer lost just because it bursted more. Or Dranzer won because it bursted more. That's the You Burst You Win battle. So that's just an indication of how much it bursts. And yeah, aside from that, it's not really very useful. I tried it on a few, I guess, attacking, stalling setups, but all of them bursted too easily. Driger is the one plastics layer that had potential to be good, or it was good for a while. I know quite a few people, like Leo Burst, the King Tai, I want to say, not Manic Ben, but someone else in the UK. They used it in attack combos. They really liked it for attack. I tried it, but I could not get anything out of it compared to something like Victory Valkyrie. But, yeah, Driger is also pretty good for it. It could be pretty good for attack. It was questionably top tier until things like Legend Spriggan came out, because I don't know, apparently it was good at bursting and KOing things. People were using like Driger S Heavy Extreme, Knuckle Extreme, stuff like that. I don't know, it never really worked for me, but it might work for you. And one of the things Driger was good at during the plastic gen was its performance against opposite spin, just because it was like so smooth and circular. And that kind of works in Burst too. Like, a combo I like trying was Driger S Yell Atomic, which did okay versus left spin stuff, but I think Blaze Ragnarok was a little better at it, so it's worse than most of the God Layer stuff at that. It doesn't help that you can't make the Burst Dragger go left spin like you could with all the plastic ARs. And finally, Draciel is the one I don't own, which is probably a pretty good indication that it's bad. Uh, Draciel was only available in Random Booster 5. Oh yeah, how'd get all these? Dragoon and Dranzer were, I think, WBBA store exclusives, so you could just buy the booster in certain WBBA stores. And, Dragoon was in Random Booster 4, and Draciel was in Random Booster 5. But yeah, apparently this layer is just not very good. It bursts, super easily just because of the design. Not as much attack power as even, like, Dragger or I guess anything else of that time period to make it worth using. And I feel like its stamina was probably pretty bad too. And yeah, overall, none of these are really worth getting for their other parts either. Like, unless, I guess if you really want the white and blue extreme, or if you really need spread and trans, or if you really want another heavy, there's not really any good parts on Draciel. Even though press pops up from time to time, I don't think it's really worth anything competitively. I think that overall, these are pretty cool looking, but I think they're just collector's items at this point. They're not competitive, they don't have any really top tier parts that make them worth buying outside of collection purposes, but I think they're definitely like pretty solid collector's items. So if you want to get like the plastic gen Beyblades, the blade breakers back together for Burst, then I'd definitely say go for these, but if not, then I would say pass. So yeah, overall that's just been the Plastic Gen Part 1 Burst review. I know they're making an F series, at least for Dragoon and Dranzer, so expect that sometime in the future, maybe. Although I might not be, I might not get them if they're as bad as these set the precedent for being. But yeah, I think next is going to be some more parts that just didn't get released during, or didn't get a review because they didn't get like their own separate release, like Chaos, M2, E2, stuff like that. So I'll see you guys then.